in-person voter fraud is, is prohibitive as compared to the success that the same resource investment can get you by making a cyber online attack against our election systems. And again, like we've seen this through, I mean, both the Mueller report and other reliable reporting, that when a nation state decided to dedicate significant resources to attacking an American election, they didn't do it through in-person voter fraud because they found a better way. And so we can't be going and, fighting we need to be fighting tomorrow's battles and not get caught in like yesterday's concerns with in-person voter fraud, which again, may have been an issue in certain places in the last century, but is like, this is not a 21st century problem.
Exactly. But, we have a president that wants to reopen the coal mines and bring coal back as a fuel for the United States and put us back 100 years in the past as well. And because I guess they think that we don't have enough pollution in the air, so let's add some more. And again, I'm sorry I'm being sarcastic, but I think
the extent, right, again, as somebody who works in technology and internet technologies, the extent to which our leaders are backward looking instead of forward looking on a variety of issues is just, deeply, deeply troubling.
Exactly. And, here we have more money being spent on our road system. And I mean, here we're off the election security, but here's an example. We had a plan a few years ago to put in high-speed rail. And what happened to it? And they decided, because of various donations made to the politicians, they decided to scrap it, But, oh well.
Yes, No, I think that's, I mean, when you think about what is the economy of Florida going to look like in the future, we have to be thinking about, tourism will always be an important part of our economy. We have, great tourist destinations in multiple places in Florida. And like, I thought the most exciting thing about the Obama era rail plan is that somebody could fly into Orlando from, Ohio or somewhere else up north with their family. They could go and, enjoy the resort attractions, the family roller coasters and entertainment in the Orlando area for a couple of days, and then they could just hop on a train without having to go through the trouble of renting a car and get themselves to the world's greatest beaches down here in Manatee and Sarasota counties. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So we have many of those issues like this that need to be addressed, and like you said, keep Florida forward thinking instead of backward. We're not going to get any place if we regress. I think they are trying to do something now with the solar power here, and with but I'm getting off the subject of the election.
Well, no. I mean, I think solar power is a really important issue. Again, like when you think about what makes Florida special, we have solar resources that other states would only dream of, but it's been a constant battle over the past 20 to 30 years against the existing power monopolies to get reasonable access for consumers to solar power. And that's, there has been some progress, but we shouldn't be fighting every step of the way. Drag Florida kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
You said it. That's exactly what it feels like on a lot of issues here. And then with the worry of the voter situation and our votes, even when we do vote on things, here's another example I think that you're well aware of. Here they passed several ballot initiatives, and instead of welcoming these as the voters being able to have the government like they want and having things done the way they're asking to be done, we end up having the legislature trying to make it more difficult for people to put ballot initiatives on. And instead of wanting to hear from their voters, they want to suppress their voters and not hear from them. And even when they pass something, they want not to try to find ways to not put it in force, even though it's supposed to be pretty clear on several issues like this that were passed. So.
Yeah, and I think the real irony there is if you look at the origin of these ballot initiatives, which require a huge amount of effort on behalf of the organizers in order to win over, educate voters and collect signatures and petition the state government in order to get their initiative on the ballot. The reason that these organizations are putting these initiatives on the ballot is because the state legislature hasn't acted. And it is amazing to me that you can have any issue where 60-some% of the voters in Florida, right now, in Florida, we know that we're like a 50-50 state, Democrat and Republican. So anything that gets, 62, 65% of the vote, that's bipartisan consensus. And how is it that if all these voters want these things, why didn't the legislature take care of this 5 years ago?
Exactly. Instead of making it more difficult, and this raises troubling questions about our actual democracy that we have here, and the people being able to have a democracy versus having some people that are greasing their palms and taking any money they can get from anywhere. That comes first, and to heck with the people that they're trying to get like for example medical marijuana. I'll take that as an example, and there's other things too. And so many people have suffered in this state over that, and there's no reason for it. And yet they tried to stop the distribution and everything. But anyway, there's a whole list of these issues that go on. But
and I think medical marijuana is a perfect issue where this is exactly why we elect leaders in Tallahassee to go and, take action to improve the lives and alleviate the suffering of their citizens. And when our legislators saw that other states were running medical marijuana programs effectively and that people's quality of life was improving, and when they saw that their constituents back in their districts were in favor of medical marijuana, there is no conceivable reason why they should not just have passed good legislation without requiring a ballot initiative, much less fighting a ballot initiative once the voters make their will crystal clear in the ballot box.
Exactly. And that raises the troubling question. There's something that has to happen in our government that lets the people have the government they want versus, I guess, it takes people getting more active and voting and educating themselves that the people that your elected officials in some cases here obviously are not acting in your best interests, not acting on how you want them to act. So I guess it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, and I think on issues like this that we've been talking about of regards to like American democracy, good government, responsive government, I mean, these are not issues that should be partisan. Republican voters should want their representatives to be responsive to the constituents just as much as Democratic voters want their leaders to be responsive to the voters, right? I mean, I get, on controversial issues where our country really is divided right down the middle on public opinion, making legislation is really hard. But, when you have 65% of people in Florida that want the same thing, then it should be a basic bipartisan issue of good governance to go and have free and fair elections and put leaders in charge who will execute the will of the overwhelming majority of their constituents.
You're exactly right. Matt, we're running out of time here, and I want to give you time here we have about a minute and a half left here. If you can summarize some of your thoughts, and then we'll close out, and hopefully maybe we'll have you back in the future at some point.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. Yeah, so the key takeaway points are that, in order to have good democracy, we really need transparency in our elections. We need our leaders to be listening to expert opinion with regards to how to run good elections. But I think auditing and transparency are the keys to having confidence in the results of our elections. And if anyone is interested in reading more, there is a wonderful blog, very accessible, easy to read, at vote.caltech.edu. So this is the MIT Caltech Voting Technology Project, has a wonderful blog, links to other stories related to good elections and election security in this country. And I would encourage voters to educate themselves on these issues because our elections really matter.
Yeah, give me that site one more time.
Yeah, so that's vote.caltech.edu.
Okay, .edu. Okay, and hopefully some of our listeners will take advantage of this and look into this. I know I will, and help educate themselves. Thank you so much, Matt. It's been great having you, and look forward to talking with you again in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much, Steve.